Okay, so I have a message for those of you who are going through a storm, or for those of you who are triggered. This message is for you. I want to share with you that it is not the storm, or it is not what you are triggered by that is the issue. I want to share with you the blessing of the storm, or the blessing of your affliction, or the blessing of your triggers. The reason why it is a blessing is because it is rattling what is dormant. I'm going to say that again. It is rattling what is dormant. It is rattling a belief. So anytime you feel triggered by something in a negative light, and it might cause you to feel angry, or it might cause you to feel afraid, or it might cause you to clamp up, and it's really, really deep. That triggering is not the threat. It is the opportunity for you to recognize what is it that is dormant, that I have dormant or carrying on the inside of me, that is causing the abruption, that is causing the trigger. It's not anything outside of me that is a threat. It is what I'm holding on the inside of me that I believe as truth, that in essence and in truth has me believing, or has me in hostage, or the illusion of being in hostage. Because you could be holding on to what happened to you when you were a child. You could be holding on to child abuse. You could be holding on to any type of hurt, or anger, or bitterness, or fear, or worry, or anguish, or for some of you who are having like sleepless nights, or stuff that you have been carrying. And the reason why oftentimes we carry it is because we carry it as our defense. We carry it as our defense. And anytime you are triggered by it, what it's doing is rattling that thing inside of your body that you were holding hostage. It's rattling that thing so that it can break off of you. But it will only break unless you release it, unless you decide, unless you make the decision to sit with oneself and to say, what is it that I am taking up space? What is it within me that is taking up space? What is it that I'm believing? Why am I triggered? And allowing the Holy Spirit to reveal its truth to you, maybe through your dream, allowing the Holy Spirit to reveal it through you just in passing, but knowing that God is faithful, meaning that God will always reveal to you the truth. And God will, when I say God is faithful, I literally mean that God is constant, and truth will always prevail. Truth will always prevail. And it is up to us to eventually choose, decide to say, and know the power that you have. Some of us, we're walking around with the stuff that we're carrying because we believe that by holding on to that, it's a sense of fear. So it's a sense of also a shield of protecting ourselves. But in actuality, that fear is a deception, because it's only keeping you captive. It's only keeping you captive. And not only, thank you, Holy Spirit. Not only is it keeping you captive, but it's allowing you to see through the eyes of that trigger. It's allowing you to see. It's allowing you to show up in that fear. And that fear is not the truth. That fear that you have given power to has had its hold on you. But this is your moment, and this is your day to recognize what it is, to understand that the Spirit of God that lives within you, that thing that's rattling within you, that's the Spirit of God that's shaking that stuff up, that's shaking that fallow ground off of you. And the power that you have to choose. God gives us free will. God gives us all free will. And I know that sometimes maybe that shield may have been the illusion of thinking that you're moving forward, but it actually isn't. It is a deception. And this is why it will constantly repeat itself until you recognize, wait a minute, God, what is the truth? What is the truth? We're not supposed to carry this weight. We're not supposed to carry this weight. It says, for take upon my yoke, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light, when Jesus talks about that. So there's a level of exchange. There's a level of trust that one must have. And that you're holding, whatever you're triggered by, sitting with oneself and saying, this stuff that I'm triggered by, or whatever I have held, and I've held for 10, 15, 20, 30 years that I got going on the inside of me, and I'm using this shield to protect myself, or I'm using this shield as my defense. You have to decide, are you going to allow God to be your defense? Or are you going to allow that false sense of power to be your defense? You choose.